Because one thing we have to come to a real good understanding this is that everybody dies. Okay, there's a what we refer to as a beginning of our lives when two people mingle, and then that child sustains the capacity to live, and then lives, and then once that life has been, been given and established, then we die. Right? And it's no more or less sad when someone dies at 112 than at 12 days old. Okay, it's no more or less sad. Okay, because when 112 years goes away from people that enjoyed those 112 years and are still alive, it has the same effect as if someone only lived for 12 days. Okay, do you understand? Okay. And when someone only lived for 12 days and they die, and you feel like you've missed something, then you don't understand those 112 years. Okay. And if you can't understand 112 years, how can you understand 12 days? Right? Okay. So when you come in to this apartment and you want to talk, and some things are uncomfortable for you because you're not coming forward for the 112 years or the 12 days. Okay, you're going to have to understand this is not going to end well for you. And manipulated relationships don't work. Okay? When you meet people that you know are near you for a reason, okay, because they are like you in spirit, whether they're aware of it or not, and most of them are aware of it. Okay? A lot of them are not. Okay, when you meet the ones that are aware of it, they acknowledge you and tell you how beautiful meeting was. And then you tell them, this is one of the best days of my life, meeting you, because this is the spirit of someone I had wanted to meet my whole life, but he died before I could ever meet him. Okay, Steve Biko died when I was a teenager. Okay, Judah Krishnamurti died when I was a teenager. D.T. Suzuki died a week before I was born. Okay. Bob Marley died when I was a teenager. Okay. When they took me to Sierra Vista, I wanted to meet Keith Elam. He died in 2011. Okay. Michelle wanted to meet the Obamas, and they watched her die in 2000 and I think it was over in December in 2011 too. And didn't do a damn thing, okay, to help her try to help me. Okay. And at that time, you think, well, that was a sacrifice people were willing to make because it wasn't the right time, because they would try to kill everybody off that stood up to recognize what I was doing. Okay. No, the military killed a woman that was going to a smoke shop for relief from chemical extortion and exploitation abuse from Kankakee because it's so fucking cold to Phoenix. Okay? Because Phoenix reminded her more of where her ancestors came from than Kankakee. Okay? It just does not get that fucking cold in Africa. Okay? And there are parts in Africa where we can migrate, where Phoenix is, okay, we've done this before. Okay? But Kankakee, Illinois, okay, they came from Alabama to Kankakee. Okay? Living in Alabama for the Bowens was like, okay, there are places in Africa, especially down south, that's like this. Okay? It's funny because I remember when I talked to Chile Napawe, said, I'm from South Africa. You used to this? Goes, no, I'm not used to this heat. Okay, it's not as hot and as dry as you think because it's further down past the equator. Okay, so South Africa It doesn't have snow a lot, and it does in some of the mountains, okay, and stuff. But South Africa is a different place from what you see in the Tarzan movies. Okay? There's of course, okay, there's the natural indigenous animals, just like they have buffaloes in Wyoming and elk in Wyoming. Okay? So you have different animals that you have to live with in South Africa, okay, that are indigenous to Africa, that are different than the buffalo or the elk or the grizzly bear, okay, but they similar, okay. So as people, how could people live in those kind of wild conditions? It's like we got people that live in Montana, okay, yeah, there's grizzly bears in Montana, okay, and there's elk, and there's buffalo. Still, they weren't all killed off, okay. And so you got to understand that it's not as primitive to live in Africa in certain areas as it is to live here. Okay, so you'll find that you live in a place in many ways that has more similarities than differences than Cape Town. But it's not Cape Town that is the heart of South Africa. It's the place that's named after the people. It's a place called Soweto. Okay, which is a place that is the heart of these people. Okay, it was named after where they gather as family. Okay, and people don't understand that. You have different places that are named after that they tried to take away and name different. Cape Town is not an African name. Soweto is where they made their last stand before it became South Africa and not home. Okay. So you got to understand the reason why the people that are different from me in my hometown, where I was born, understand and get along with me better than the people that migrated here with my family, is they understand what it's like to live in a place that they called home and is now called New Mexico, the United States. Okay. No, this is home. Okay? And so South Africa is not South Africa until people that gave us Cape Town named it South Africa. Okay? Before that, it was home. Do you understand? Okay? And on my way home tonight, me and Ashley connected in prayer, and we talked about Steve and talking to him in prayer. I said, he doesn't talk to me that much because all the people that called themselves Christians that looked like me didn't act anything like me. And as I was leaving the store, after talking to Ashley and Princess and the two beautiful young ones, it's nice when a young man offers you his left hand with total innocence because he's not trained to be someone they call a Muslim. When he went to shake my hand, I was like, that was gorgeous. So he offered me the hand that he uses. That's what I love about South Africa. Okay, it's a place where people are who they are, and convention to other people's perspectives are not tolerated if they don't respect home. And as I was leaving, Steve and Ashley gave me a prayer. Those who take without giving, I wish for you the gift of giving, and that may you give without wanting to take. And will you come home, whether it is a place you call home or not home, but when you come to me and you love me the way I love you, you can be home with me, even if it was not what you called home. So he's saying you can be from Dublin or London, and people will ask you for money to live here and beat you until you give them money to live here. Or you can come to Soweto, and if you stand for me and my family, our family will stand for you. All right. When I talked to Princess tonight, she says we kept talking, and it was just flowing out of us like Proverbs. And she looked at me and she said, this was absolutely just gorgeous and beautiful. Thank you. I kept telling her, it's you. And it's Ashley and it's the kids. I saw you and I was nervous to speak because I didn't want to alienate you or make you feel uncomfortable, you know. But then when I kept talking, the more I kept talking, the more she wanted to hear. She did not know who Haile Selassie was. Okay, and then when I told her about Nesta, she didn't know me at first. She goes, "Oh, Barbara Marley." She said, "You said it differently." I said, "No, that's his name. His name is Nesta. Nesta Robert Marley. And you say it Nesta like that, or you try to say it in Patois, so you can respect the name. Now, Robert Marley is the name they use for the white side. Nesta is the name, that's his name, that's who he is, you know. It's beautiful. And I told her, you know, I said, when I tell everybody that Nesta's my cousin, you know, people look and go, you do, you know, you look like the father and not the mother. I know, and I know the father was not good like me, but the father looked like me. Okay? So when a lot of people that think they know Nesta, when I say that, they, oh, he's just saying that because Bob famous and somebody. Pity on those whose chances go further. They thought I was the father of creation because I am the other half of the north migration and the south migration of Lord Selassie. Do you understand? I'm the cousin, as they would call it in Western lore, of Haile Selassie. But instead of being a couple months apart, we're years apart because we were torn apart by people hunting down and killing the man like me, because he betrayed his own kind according to tribal warfare. They didn't hunt down and kill the one like John because he didn't betray his race. You understand? The Romans turned my spirit into a god. And then they hunted down to kill me because they said I betrayed the whites for the blacks. Okay? That they subjugated us and turned us into slaves and fed our babies to crocodiles. And you, what do you say? I say, like I said to Princess, you look like the face of someone that would be on a Sphinx, but you act nothing like one. That's why you migrated away just like me. That's how a woman from that part of Africa migrated all the way south to get away from the people in the north. She talked about how the migration, and then we migrated to, she goes, I'm originally from South Africa, but I migrated to other parts, and now she's in the U.S. And it's like, yeah, women like you and men like him are always migrating away from our brother. I told her, I said, we will move 2,000, 4,000 miles away from our brother that wants to kill us because he's jealous of us, because we love our brother and don't want to have to kill him. That's how sweet we are. Do you guys understand? I'm going to load this one up. Get it on there and be ready to hear. Because if you come here and you're not ready to listen, you're not ready to hear and you're not here.